message to Russia, and I'm sure our European partners, in addition to Ukraine, would have a big problem with that.
U.S.
He
Army
didn't mention
Secretary
the
Dan
fallout
Driscoll
at
is
all.
meeting
Okay.
with a Russian delegation today. What do you think it'll take to get Russia on board with this plan?
So I'll start with it's somewhat unusual that the Secretary of the Army be working in this diplomatic capacity. This is usually a very senior State Department special envoy. But that said, he's obviously a very competent individual. So I think he's really going to come up against Russians' understanding that as long as they can keep taking terrain, they're not interested in a ceasefire. So it's unlikely that they'll accept this new revised 19-point plan. That likely require pressure in the form of significant sanctions, releasing frozen Russian assets, and improving more long-range weapon systems that Ukraine can use so effectively to target Russia's energy infrastructure, which supports their war. So until they see more consequences to not having a ceasefire, it's likely Russia will continue this. They'll have many negotiations. That's totally fine with them, but they'll keep fighting, I think, until they believe it's not in their own interest.
Crazy that not 5 minutes ago I said the very same thing. Russia has no vested interest in stopping. Most invaders don't have an interest in stopping unless it is no longer effective for them to do so, right? And ending on a high note is better than overreaching and getting your ass handed to you by a conglomerate alliance or some unforeseen counteroffensive that changes the entire flow of the war, right? So, again, I'm not just speaking out of my ass when I talk about international politics or military conflict. Like, this is... You heard it from whoever this expert is. I don't know who this guy is. NBC News contributor Mike Mulroy. So, now, I guess... Oh, yeah, we have a minute left, and they haven't even talked about any of the key points. So, but land being one, resources being another, and then, of course, probably even sovereignty, like in terms of population. So land isn't necessarily the same thing as population, because the Russian population may not necessarily be in the places where they were captured. So it might even be something along those lines. And he mentioned the frozen Russian assets in U.S. and European banks. So there's a lot that Russia wants. And if they're not going to even get some of it, they're going to just keep on going because there's not enough consequence, as I brought up, to deter them. And that's the issue. Without consequences, this continues indefinitely. Or until Ukraine is erased from the map or Russia is.